Hi there, welcome back to a new journaling video. I was going to say weekend vlog, I'm not vlogging, am I? I've taken off the charms already. I am going to be creating in my Bambi journal. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do today, and I thought I'd have a flick through, just see what I fancied doing, and out popped the Kiefer Sutherland tickets from when we went to a Kiefer Sutherland concert in August, 20th of August. And so I must have had this ready to do and I completely forgot about it. So that's what we're going to do today. I use this journal. Oh, we've got these, one wristband. Oh, here's the other one. There we go. I use this journal for like local bits and pieces, sort of things that we do, like day trips, and not so much local, but day trips in the UK then. That's more what I was meaning. I haven't decided, so we haven't got too much in here that I've done. Stonehenge, there's really not too much at all. It's quite a new journal that I've done this year. And to be honest, I've forgotten about. Oh, I quite like the pink page. Should we do a little bit of pink? Or do we do it on this one? The envelope, the tickets came in that, so I was thinking about using that. Got a little bit of green. Yeah, let's do this actually. I have no idea what I'm using at the moment. I don't even know what I'm in the mood for. Struggling a little bit with the old Crafty Mojo at the moment. And actually I'm about to go on a Zoom tonight with my Patreon community, and that's a topic that we're going to be speaking about, so I will share some of that with you. I don't know what I'm in the mood for. I really don't. I cut out that the other day. That could do. I think I might just pull out a load of stuff and see what takes my fancy. I think that's what we're going to do. Nothing's planned. Just going to have a play. So I thought it would be a good one to discuss today about that feeling when you want to craft and scrapbook and journal and all that, but it's just not happening. I think lots of us are having a shift of kind of mood at the moment. It's a topic that's come up quite a few times in discussion. I was actually doing a Zoom when I was creating this with our Patreons, and it's something that we were discussing as well. I always sort of ask people, our group, what you want to discuss during the Zooms, and Annie suggested this because it was something that I'd actually discussed on my vlogging channel recently, and it's had a massive hit with everyone. I was talking about struggling with motivation this time of year, and I've had a huge response to it. That's the word I was looking for. That's the word I was looking for, response. It seems to be a common problem. And it's just within the home. It's even like we were talking about, you just want to stay in your pajamas this time of year. But why is it? I had this Sunday, I had the time to create, but I just didn't feel like going to my desk. So I did mention this in our Facebook group as well to see if anybody else has been feeling like this. And again, so many people said yes. So I think as a community, we've decided it's definitely a seasonal thing. The interesting thing was, and this really interested me, we had two ladies from the States on our Zoom that live in warm, sunny climates. One in California, thank you, Annie, and Margaret in Florida, St. Augustine in Florida. And obviously they live in warm climates, but they're still feeling the season change, and they're wanting to sort of be cozy. I found that really strange because I just associate it with our country. Cold, wet, dark and gloomy. That's how I'm feeling right now with the weather. But no, so I don't know about you. Where are you from? Let me know, and let me know if you're feeling the season change as well. Now, we need to beat this, don't we? We don't want the seasons to get the better of us. So I threw myself into this page today. I needed this page, I really did. And funnily enough, my last journaling video, was one on journaling therapy. I just threw myself into my page and lost myself, and I had such a lovely time. I love that page that I created. So maybe sometimes, I always say you can't force creativity, but maybe sometimes you can. And that was my whole purpose for starting this journaling video channel, was because
I was finding I wasn't getting busy enough with being creative. I love my creativity, I love my time, but it just wasn't happening. So I did think if I started a channel, it was making myself accountable. So by saying I'm going to do a video every Monday and Thursday, I try to stick to that. I think there's only been a very handful of times over the years that I haven't. It definitely works for me. So it's making yourself accountable maybe. But whenever I do push myself, I do end up enjoying it. I've just got to get myself to my desk to start with. So I just wanted to mention that envelope, by the way, that was what the tickets came in. So it's got cheese and grain. We went to a concert venue in Frome. It was the first time we went there. And it's such a cute venue. It's tiny, it really is. And it's just like one big open hall. And they have some really, really good performers that come there. So we saw Keith Sutherland, but loads of people come. And apparently it's a common place for people to actually come and test before either at the end. So this was Keith's last one, or a lot of people use it to test at the start. I don't know whether they use it to test sort of like sound and that, I don't know. But apparently they've had some really, really big sort of groups come. So I need to keep a lookout actually to see who else is going to be there. So we thoroughly enjoyed the evening. And this is what this journal is all about for me, is having like activities that we're doing then. So I've done Stonehenge, I've done the American Museum. So I need to go back over the year. I've got a couple of castles and pop them in here because I think it's a nice one to keep. That's something I am finding when it comes to sort of inspiration and motivation, because that's what this video is all about, the both of them, inspiration and motivation. It's having choices. I think if I was just stuck in one journal, I would find that a bit more difficult, whereas today I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I know I needed a video for tonight, which was my push, and obviously I was doing my Patreon Zoom as well. That is also a push for me as well, because I don't want to host a Zoom to help everyone being creative if I'm not feeling creative myself and I'm just sat there having a cup of tea and listening. That's not a good ad, is it? It really isn't. So this for me was you guys helping me as well. But I have choice. So I didn't know what I fancied doing. And then I saw my Bambi journal. I thought, oh gosh, I haven't used that for so long. Opened it up, out popped the Keith Sutherland. I keep calling him Keitha with a TH. It's an F. Keitha. Sounds wrong. So I was instantly into that. So I was pleased about that. Sometimes you have to think a little bit, and I think that's why I haven't started my new Florida journal yet, because I need to think what photos I want to do, pull out the memorabilia. It's like a little bit of homework needs to be done before the page, and it's just not how I'm feeling at the moment. So this to me was perfect though. Everything was there. And also the journal itself, because the pages are in already, that takes out a lot of the thought process as well. As little thought as possible was what I needed today. So I hope all this is kind of helping you, because I know it's helped me as well get into this page today. So I'm hoping it's kind of helping you as well. I did have a couple of scrap baskets at my side, and they're what I was delving into. I did a thing quite some time ago about stamping. That's it. We were doing a stamp swap, and I was doing some examples. So here I've stamped on a piece of scrap fabric ages ago, and I'm just going to pop this on. I like having a basket of pieces that are ready-made almost when I've done bits and pieces. So that's quite handy as well. If you've got bits and pieces that you've made, whenever I do anything, I tend to do it in bulk. So like this, I've got a piece of stamped fabric, which I'm able to layer up. And the pocket, did you see how easily I made that little pocket with just a scrap piece of paper? That was actually from a postcard from one of my monthly kits. And I've just stuck it down on 3 sides to give me a little pocket. I'm using the wristbands here. You have to keep things like that, don't you? I do love memorabilia. So I'm going to pop those in as well. I did think about sticking them, like stapling them at the side, but I decided just to pop them in the pocket with the tickets as well. I thought that would be quite sweet. And the little tag that I've put in the white envelope on the opposite page was a ready stamp tag that I had in my scrap basket as well. So that's something I always say. If you're struggling with motivation, sometimes just go and sit at your desk and just stamp on a load of things. Get out your Crafty stamps and stamp on some tags and bits and pieces of paper, because you never know when they're going to come in handy. Definitely has for me today. So I'm just delving through the scraps, sticking them here and there, which is something I like doing. It's kind of like doing a bit of a mosaic. You don't really need to think too much, and it's fun, and it's always a good feeling, isn't it, to use up your supplies. I'm gonna do a little bit of bits and pieces on the back. I think this is where I'm going to put my photos, on the reverse of the envelope and on the inside. I used some music paper as well, seeing as it was a concert. Music paper, look out for those in secondhand shops and charity shops. I found them in both. They're quite handy to use, which I really like doing. This is a stamped image that I've done. Actually, I think this one might have been from my friend Kat. I know that she sent me a load ages ago, so that one might actually be from her. I don't think that's my actual stamp, but again, having something that's ready-made really helps. So yeah, the other thing I found helpful was actually being in a group. We had 14 people on this Zoom from Patreon, being in a group, just crafting and chatting, everyone doing their own thing. Not even everyone was chatting, actually. Some people just didn't feel like it today, and that's absolutely fine. And like I said, in a group, that's the nice thing. You can have company even if you don't feel like talking. So some of us were really chatty, some of us weren't, but we got to see what each other were doing, and I find that really inspirational as well. For example, Luce has a new journal that she started. By the way, do you recognize these stickers? Jenny Bolin, that's a bit of a blast from the past, isn't it? Let me know if you remember good old Jenny Bolin stickers. So Lucy started a new Mary Poppins journal, which is amazing, and it was so interesting. We often see everyone's journals when they're ready made, but literally Luce was at the beginning of this journal, but she was having doubts with it. So it was really nice. She was able to show us, and I felt really excited because I was able to see the journal right from the start, and her journals don't start as I thought. She has a special way of doing them. They're soft, they're floppy, they're beautiful, they don't bulk like mine. So it was really, really fun actually seeing the whole start and the thought process behind her journaling. She wasn't 100% where it was going, but it was really nice that as a group we were all there chatting and coming up with ideas, almost brainstorming. So I can't wait to see how her journal now goes. And that reminds me, Emma was there with her journal. She has started a girl guiding journal. She's a girl guider. She's done it for absolutely years, very, very involved. And she had the cutest little girl guiding book. And so we sort of said, oh my gosh, that needs to be a journal. She hasn't journaled for ages. So she started, and she was making her first page in her journal last night as we were all chatting. So that felt really special to be involved. So all of this just feels very inspirational, and I came off, and usually if I'm not really in the mood, I will tidy away after the Zoom and then maybe go and have a cup of tea and watch TV with Aid. But actually I took my stuff back up to my craft room and I finished this page. So everyone must have really had a big impact on my creativity. This Zoom was definitely what I needed. It really, really helped. I'll leave my link down below, by the way, the details to our community, our journaling community, if you're interested. Being around other creatives definitely helps. I do really find that, even if it's just chatting, it sparks ideas, hearing what everyone else is up to, or even hearing that others are feeling exactly the same as you and that it's not just you. I think sometimes it's easy to dissect everything and think into things too much. I'm feeling this, could it be that? Oh my gosh, that's what's happening with me. Whereas something as simple as, no, it's just the season change, I think we're all feeling like it, really helps. It really does. I know that I came away feeling a lot better from just chatting with people today. It really, really helped me. I've got some chevrons. Chevrons are a real good addition to a page. I've got, this was from like a really old kit of mine that I still had kicking around, and I love adding them as a bit of pop of colour, but they're a great way to accent a page as well. Just add a little bit of focus. Like I thought they would be fun to point towards a couple of bits and pieces. Yeah, I really do love a chevron. I've got a chevron stamp as well, which I often forget to use. They're quite handy. I've got them in my online shop, actually. I'll leave the link to those because it is something I go through phases. I'll either use them all the time and then like now I forget for ages. Oh yeah, I love those. So then I just end up using them all again. But they do make a big difference, don't they? I just think they're really, really fun. I need to remember to use them more often. I think they are a very easy way to add a bit of colour and a bit of interest to a page. And I love when you get the colour combos here, the nice contrasting colours. I think that looks really sweet. I do love adding a ticket, memorabilia, that kind of thing to a page. I just think it's so much fun. Something else that was discussed during the Zoom was where we get all our different ideas from. And something I said was that, for example, Jo said that she doesn't have ideas. It just comes when she's at her desk and that's it. So like she said, she gave the example of often I say when I'm filming that I can step away from my page if I'm struggling, or not even struggling, if I'm just feeling like it's not quite finished. I don't know where it's going, or I think it's finished, but there's just something that needs adding to it. I can step away from my page, I'll come back later and I'll feel like, yeah, I know what to do. She said she doesn't feel like that. She only gets her inspiration when she's sat at her desk. Whereas I said that I tend to find inspiration for me is everywhere. I tend to find that, like I said, as an example, I was in Next once and there was a framed quote that was for sale. And instantly I thought, oh my gosh, that would be an amazing title for a scrapbooking page. This is obviously going back for quite a long time ago. But often I will be inspired by shop windows. Anthropology is always an example I give. I always feel so much inspiration in anthropology. I'll get my phone out to take photos, whether it be fabric designs, plates, colour combos, textures that have been put together. It can be anything from an apron that's inspired me to a ceiling display. They often have amazing things hanging from their ceilings. I do often find a lot of excitement. We went to a hotel in Atlanta and they had loads and loads of paper cranes, like origami cranes. And I did actually think, oh my gosh, I would love that. They had a whole wall of them. And I thought that would be so amazing, almost like as an artwork installation in my home. So often I take photos, but then what I need to do is actually put them into a separate folder for like home inspiration or creative inspiration. That would be a good one. And I need to go back to, because I'm great at photographing, but then, for example, if I'm on holiday, they stay in that holiday album. So I need to remember to separate them. It's great taking photos of things that inspire you, but you've got to be able to remember to access them, haven't you, where they are. So I think that's equally as important. I'm pulling out some really old stash here. This is old. I'm delving into, I think these might be some old Cocoa Daisy, like the puffy stickers maybe, I think. Got some old enamel dots here. Just going back in my old stash. I do like an enamel, that's difficult to say, an enamel dot. They're quite good for adding that pop of colour again. So I'm doing that here. Just kind of like adding bits and pieces. Again, when your page isn't finished, it's getting there, but you still need a few extra bits and pieces. But yeah, for me, I do find being out and about very inspirational actually. But you do need to remember to keep note of the ideas that you found. Something that has excited me during our chat was, by the way, look at this tiny little piece of paper. This was in my scrapbox. It's something that I've painted on. It's been pulled apart and I'm adding that. That's like adding watercolor to your page without having to get messy. That, and as well, is when like you have that time like this and you've just made a mess, done all your bits and pieces, left it to dry, but then you use it another time. I like doing that kind of thing. So I wanted to tell you about Cheryl's idea. This was what we chatted about in the Zoom as well. Was it Cheryl actually? Oh gosh, I don't want to say the wrong name. I can't remember. Or was it Jo? Maybe it was Jo. Said about doing, yes, I think it might be Jo. Said about doing a journal and splitting it into 4 signatures, her weekly journal for next year. Yes, it was because she's already made it. She split it into 4 signatures to have one winter, spring, summer and autumn. I had to think then. And so she's got it done for the year, and I thought that was an amazing idea. And I picked up that book when I went to my friend Romy's, and we went a bit of treasure hunting, and I picked up the journal, or it's actually a gardening book with all the months of the year. So I'm thinking I might actually borrow that idea and actually do 4 signatures and have it done seasonally, because I said I wonder if that would help as well. Almost as our bodies are adjusting with the seasons, so are our journals. And wouldn't it be cool, like now then, to be journaling in an autumn side of the journal? So I am loving that idea. Again, it's being around other creative people that spark your ideas and your motivation and inspiration. So last night was, or this journaling session was really valuable to me. So I'm very grateful to everyone. It was a really good session, as you can tell. I think probably all of us came away feeling really inspired last night. I know that I certainly did. And it's really given me a lot of ideas. I'm just using some cuttables, printables that I've got from my kits where they're like, I call them washi papers. So I'm tearing some of those to use. They're quite handy. I just like, again, just being able to hack away at scraps in my basket. I find that very, very therapeutic. So I'm doing a bit of that, adding some of the words, which is quite handy. I do like having a few little words. I often include these as downloads as well each month. We have on our Patreon platform, we have in our community, we have 2 downloads a month. So I quite often include these because you can use them over and over again, but there's loads and loads of bits and pieces on these, whether it be a few words, like almost washi strips. Sometimes we have little like journal tags and various bits and pieces. So they're quite handy to use. And you can print them off then whatever size you want. So I quite like that. By the way, talking of that, I completely forgot this month to put the code in the boxes for the downloads. I completely forgot. I need to let everybody know in our community. So instead, and everyone is welcome to go and download it this month, I have included the October downloads as freebies on my website this month. So even if you don't have a kit, you're welcome to go and download it for free. I completely forgot to pop the little code. Usually it's just a code for kit subscribers, but I forgot this month. So I'll leave a link down below. Go in, visit, download, print it off, and there's 3 of them, so you can use them on your own projects. Sorry, the lighting's not so great in here in the evenings. Right, I'm just printing my photos. I used these on my last layout, but they just go so well, so I am going to use them again. Let's pop Kiefer up there, and I want to obviously tell the whole backstory. I'm not going to do the full name, I'm just going to do Kiefer. 1, because it's going to fit better, and 2, because I don't want to use up loads of alphabet stickers. I often feel quite tight with my alphabet stickers because they don't last forever, do they? Somebody left a comment the other day asking about why I don't get like a die cut for an alphabet set, and to be honest, I've had them before and I have actually since sold them. I do like a sticker, if I'm totally honest. I've got stamps as well, but there's just something about a sticker. But yeah, no, the die cuts, I had like the original Sizzix set, and I've had Sizzlits and all sorts over the years. I sold a lot of that when we moved house, to be honest. Right, I'm loving the pop of green. I think that looks... Right, I printed off 4 on there. One of these I am going to do for another one. I'm going to do the book I'm reading. I want to talk about that. I need to decide where I'm going to put these photos. I did think, oh, I like that colour there. And I've got, I don't know if I'm going to put the white frame around them. I usually do. I think I might be daring and not even do a border. That's very unlike me. I don't know, can I get away with it? I don't know. I'm always talking about breaking the rules, aren't I? Should I? I would quite like to have... Actually, I might...
like the idea of one of us. Yeah, I'm gonna have to keep to my rules. I think I just can't bring myself not to have a little white border. Are there any rules that you keep to, your own like little rules that you find really hard to break? I went through, and I'm sure lots of you did, back when sort of Tim Holtz was it like when he first started becoming sort of really, really well known? Everyone was inking, like, you know, when you had the dabber thing, was it Dauber? I can't remember what it was called. And I just couldn't do anything without an inked edge. Everything was inked, and I mean everything. Your photos, your edges, all of these edges, everything would have been completely inked. Everything. Let me know if you remember those days. It's funny, you don't think of, yeah, I'm going to put that there actually. You don't really think of trends, but there were, and like everyone was making flowers back then as well. Like with screwed up pieces of paper, like scrapbooking paper, you do like circles, and you distress it and scrunch it, and then there was just, yeah, sort of everyone was doing the same thing. And I think it was when the grungy look was really in as well. And everyone was kind of doing the same things. It's quite funny, the thought of like, it was just scrapbooking then as well, just like scrapbooking having a trend, but it did. And when basic grey were in, and there was some really cool companies around, but they were all quite grungy, a little bit on the dark side. Even if the colours were bright and fun, it still had a bit of grunge to it. And then Grunge Board came out as well. It was all fun and games, and now just anything goes. But yeah, there's still a few little things, like I can't get over not having a border on my photos. It just doesn't look right. But then I've been through phases before where I haven't been able to leave off an ink splat. I've had to have ink splats. I used to do a lot of circles as well. I would get the lid of, say, this for example, and the glue. Oh, I've got one right in front of me. Why do I need to take that one? And I'd ink that up and then do, actually I could do that now. I haven't done that for ages. Why don't I do that? That would be fun. Right, let's pop that on there. And then I'm going to add some journaling. I wanted to kind of not hide the photos, but just tidy them up a little bit. Right, let's go and find something circular. I might do this one actually. Oh, that's still okay, that one. I'm going to do this one anyway, I think. Ink this up. Let's do it here. There. Oh, I've made a hidden Mickey. It's a really good way to create little backgrounds. Actually, I might continue that all over. I quite like that. That's quite cool, isn't it? I haven't done this kind of thing for ages. Let's continue. There. That looks really cool. I quite like this. So that is another tip actually, if you're looking for inspiration, and I've said this before, go over your old things and see what you used to do, because I can guarantee if you've been scrapbooking, journaling or being creative for quite some time, chances are you would have forgotten some of these things anyway. There, I like that. That is something I haven't done for a very long time. Let me know if there's anything you used to do all the time that you haven't done for a long time. I would love to hear. Right, apart from the journaling, I am pretty much done. I think I might even leave it at that. I'm really chuffed I've managed to get the tickets in. I'm going to tell the story on there. Somebody asked the other day why I don't journal on camera. It's because generally I'm talking whilst doing it. I've just obviously been doing on a Zoom, so I was chatting then, so that's a little bit different. But I don't usually do a voiceover. So, and I really struggle to talk and journal at the same time, so that's why I haven't, not for any particular reason, but just for that reason. So there we have it, my finished page, which I am really pleased with. Those circles have made such a difference. Love those, really pleased with those, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you to hear what you used to do, which you don't seem to do anymore, that you've forgotten about. Let's see if we can bring back some of those old trends. Thank you very much for watching. I look forward to hear all the inspiration and ideas from you, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.